What's up, Mega Maniacs? This is Mr. MegaManFan, and for the first time ever, I'm going to try something different today on Retro Hunting Adventures. I'm going to do a trade-in. I've got some Super Nintendo games, some Atari 2600 games, a Nintendo game, some Game Boy games, a few GameCube games, and I'm heading over to Pop Culture to see what I can get and trade in to turn in this stuff that I don't want and hopefully turn it into some new retro games that I do want. So stay tuned for this latest edition of Retro Hunting Adventures, and please remember to hit that subscribe and mash those likes.
Yo, this is MegaRan, and you need to rock and or roll on over to Mr. MegaManFan's YouTube channel, because it's all that rush to make it happen. Peace!
Might have guessed from what was in the box, most of that stuff was common, not a high trade value, but I did manage to turn it into 3 games. And I've got Swampy's Revenge, Frogger 2 for PlayStation, Mind Quiz for PSP, and my favorite of the 3, Twisted Metal Head On. And if I can pop that open, you'll see that it is complete, as is the other 2. And good condition disc on Frogger 2, so I think that should be fine, but I'll test that once I get back. And, of course, Mind Quiz. So I feel like that was worth the trading, because all of that stuff was items that had been sitting around forever that I had been unable to sell online, so might as well turn them into some games that I will actually use and play versus stuff that I have to go to the post office and put postage on and mail out, and probably even take a bath on just driving back and forth from the post office and all the hassles. So I feel like ultimately it was worth it. So to be honest, it took a while to get to this point, because when I first brought the games home, my PlayStation Portable was not fully charged up, so I had to give it a little good bit of charge, because if you just tried to put something in, it would immediately die. So now that it's up and running, so to speak, I can test out these games that I picked up. That's a promising sign. This is a very underrated handheld, by the way. If you're not a PlayStation Portable collector, I understand, but in terms of being a rival to the Nintendo DS in the 2000s, it did a pretty damn good job. In fact, I would say outstanding. You could consider it a drawback that there are load times, but the load times are not that long. Yeah, I think we can declare success. Copyright Sega 2006. Let me delve a little bit into it. Load game, well, that's not going to work. New game. Well, I don't want to deal with all this entering a name and creating a save file stuff, so let's quit. If there was like a fast start version, I would have done it, but that just seems like too much hassle to key in my name one character at a time right now, so not gonna do it. Let me show you real quick. There's one, and there's the other. So apparently, I've got both French and English. That's kind of funky. Who took the trouble to print that much material? I mean, that makes a rather bulky box. That's gotta cost money, and these days people don't put any instruction manuals in it unless it's like a limited run games release or a special edition of some kind, so it's kind of shocking to see 2 manuals. They must have just been trying to avoid having to release versions for international markets, so they just decided we're going to make one version for all markets with both manuals, and then we can sell it in the US, Canada, who knows, maybe even France. I think I have seen 1 or 2 other PSP games in my collection that had a French language manual, but man, this one just looks thick in there. Double the manuals, double the fun. Now checking game data, which doesn't exist. SCEA presents Incognito Entertainment. Incog Inc. Incognito Entertainment. And inside the garage, some metal. And some people working on it who are quite twisted. Yes. I think it's fair to say this one works. Let's skip the cutscene, get to a menu, just to be sure. Make it load a little bit more. Yep, I think that is a successful test as far as I'm concerned. So now we can move on to Frogger. How do you like the Mega Man Legends poster? Pretty spiffy, huh? Then we got the crab up there from Mario Brothers, Samus Aran, and Samus without her helmet. I just put that one up the other day. And it looks like Frogger is going to work. So far, so good. Getting the cutscenes that open it up. Hasbro Interactive. Let's play! And Blitz Games. And a very deformed looking critter reminiscing about the original versions of Frogger. Tearing down the poster in a fit of rage. He's going to try to run over Frogger, but Frogger gets out of the way at the last minute. But a boulder's coming. And someone just saved Frogger. But there's a bomb. This Frogger is constantly in peril. All thanks to Swampy, I'm going to assume. Yeah, okay, so we've just hit the stopping point because I'm not going to create a save file for it right now. So, that's 3 for 3. I'd call this a successful retro hunting adventure. I'm Mr. MegaManFan, and I'll see you all next time.